So we're gonna reel back here. We're gonna go back to me.
We're gonna do this.
Whoa.
We're gonna go back to me.
So
It's like
we're gonna do the happy ending.
This thing that you did is kind of like this thing that one of the guys from Game Grumps does. They do like eating horrible food, and to get it down, he'll go, I have to do my chest thing, and it gets it down every time.
So we're gonna go back to me for the third topic, which is
about me again.
which is about me.
Wait, what?
Is it actually?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I went to Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh right,
For
no shit.
Christmas.
This.
So I want to talk about my trip to Cleveland and Cleveland as a whole,
That's right. We're doing 4 topics now.
and my trip back. So the trip there was also already a foreshadowing. The last month we've had really bad, or I specifically have had really bad luck when it comes to airplanes. Now, before I get into the Cleveland story, you and I, I'm not going to name them on the show, but we were driving these two people to Oakland Airport.
We'll call them Greg and George.
Greg and George.
One of them was a lady.
Yeah, George.
So we're driving them to
Greg's a
Oakland
man's
Airport,
name.
and we live on like the far outskirts of San Francisco.
We live
And-
in the wilderness.
Literally,
but it's
the
still
far
supposed,
outskirts.
but it's still supposed to be a 45-minute drive to Oakland Airport.
Well, we'll post the address right here.
No, and so
A lot of
it's
people don't
supposed to
know.
be a 45-minute drive,
Mhm.
right? And so like Henry came over because we were recording Let's Plays, and it went on like a little longer than I wanted to, but we still left at 3:30. Their flight was at 5:40, and so by the time we had gotten there, it would have been like 4:15 or whatever. Like we're still like, okay, we left a little later than I wanted to, but we're still good. We're still gonna get there about like an hour and a half before your flight takes off. It took us an hour just to get onto the fucking bridge. And then it took us another hour just to get to Oakland Airport. And so they missed their flight, and they had to take another flight the next morning. They stayed in Oakland because they didn't feel like dealing with the traffic or whatnot. So that's just an example of my bad luck with airplanes.
And we listened to all of Electric Ladyland.
Yeah, on the way back, it was the best. So on the way to Cleveland, we're driving to the airport. Driving. SFO. None of this fucking Bay Bridge shit.
Yeah.
Going to SFO, get there. My flight is delayed. Right when I get, like, I've already checked it. Like, I've already checked in, gone through the fucking thing. Flight delayed. I'm like, this is fucking bullshit.
Actually,
Because I signed up for the whole, like, text me or call me when my fucking flight's delayed. Like, give me airplane updates and all this stuff. None of that.
And by that they meant text me
If you're late.
and let me see your level of frustration as it goes on.
So I got no call, no text, whatever. The first time I hear about it, I'm looking at like the list of flights that are going in and out and stuff. The first I hear about it, I see it there and it's like delayed. Like, all right. And so it
Throws his bag.
was
at
delayed by
us.
2 hours. It was delayed by 2 hours. And then I made the connection. Fuck. This is delayed by 2 hours. And I had a connecting flight in Chicago that was supposed to be just like an hour, like, wait. So if it's delayed 2 hours, I'm going to miss my flight out of Chicago.
Yep.
So get in contact with fucking whatever airline I was on. I think I was on United, which, you know, this is always fucking happening on United.
No United.
I usually do Southwest. I don't know why we didn't
Always
do
Southwest. Southwest is
I usually
the
go
like,
best.
always Virgin America, but we can't afford that.
I usually go Virgin.
Yeah. So you're gonna break those glasses one day.
I
They're
swear.
pretty much already broken.
They're landing harder and harder every time.
So I call United because everybody's in like the fucking line to like be like physically helped. I'm like, fuck that, and I got the number to call. Got it all figured out in like 5 minutes. Instead of doing the connecting flight, got a direct flight, but it was going to be later that night. So Alyssa picked me up. We went back home, watched some Star Wars, and we went back to the airport like
Clone Wars.
6 hours later.
Right.
No, we watched New Hope and then Empire.
Right.
And then went back to the airport, and then I took a red eye. And then my dad and I went to go see Star Wars: The Force Awakens that morning.
The hell's a red eye?
Oh,
A
red
red
eye.
eye is when you
It's a
fly
late
from
night
the.
flight.
It's a late night flight when you fly from the West Coast to the East Coast.
That's why the movie was called Red. Oh fuck! It's like you connected something in my childhood that I didn't understand.
I remember the first time I took a red eye was when I was going to Boston to look at colleges. Guess where I'm not going?
Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, you are still here, so I think we knew that.
I really wanted to send a video that was just bricks, a lot of bricks.
Fallout 4.
Massachusetts.
So yeah, that flight was, but it was the flight itself. I liked that I got a direct flight instead, because I watched like a movie or two. I slept for like an hour or two maybe, or I watched a movie and then I slept for a couple hours.
I cannot sleep on a plane.
Neither can I.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing. I usually can't, but I was so fucking exhausted. And when you do a red eye, all the lights are off, so it's easier to fall asleep.
I've totally done a red eye before. I was just an unaccompanied minor, and I didn't care to listen to that.
So I go to Cleveland. Now I want to talk about some of the great, but going to Cleveland for the first time in like a year and a half, almost 2 years, was a great reminder of Cleveland is the underdog of America. Always rooting for it. It's like the George Costanza of cities. Where you're always rooting for it, but it never quite gets what it wants.
And at some point, it's the voice of Duckman.
Yeah, and I want it's endearing. It's an endearing city. There's a lot of like really cool diners there. A lot of like little things that I think if you guys went to Cleveland, you'd be like, okay, I get why you didn't hate it here. Like there's like Mally's Chocolates. Let's talk about Mally's Chocolates for a second. Mally's Chocolates
Is the chocolate.
best chocolate shop in America, hands down.
What was it time for a road trip?
Ask Alyssa Shimoda, who's all about candies
Yeah.
and chocolates and stuff.
There's 2 things she knows about. Or 3 things.
Cats.
How to put a kid in its place, candy, and Disney.
Yeah,
I don't know why I had my pinky up still, but Disney.
Putting kids in their place, and those kids are cats.
So, fuck, what was my post? So, she had Mally's Chocolates for the first time recently, and she was like, holy shit, yes.
Like, is it
It's
just the
like
right mix of sweet and bitter?
It's a right mix of like sweetness, not that much bitter, but just like the what's the word I'm looking for? Texture, consistency,
Both.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
That's like
Italian.
the right like it sort of
Denseness.
melts by itself, but you also gotta chew it
Make
and
me
just like
want
the
chocolate right
right taste of it. Yeah, I'm gonna go pick up some Hershey's bars because that's the next closest thing I can get. Because I'm not going to fucking Ghirardelli right now.
Hershey's, also known as Choc.
I love chocolate a lot, but I usually don't judge a candy store. I can't even focus on that.
Yeah.
A candy store
what's wrong?
by its chocolate, but by its peanut butter cups.
I don't know if they're not known for being. I don't think they do the peanut butter cups, and that's what Mally's is, like a chocolate shop and also an ice cream shop.
Gotcha.
You get
That's
you
another
get the
thing.
chocolate. You get the nice like just straight up chocolate because it's like a really good consistency and all of that.
They know what
then
they're
you
good
also get the Superman ice cream, which is like basically
I've actually heard about that.
which is the best ice cream ever.
That was actually
down.
on a Food Network.
See, but we
thing.
live.
Yeah,
Yep.
and
Mally's
that looks
Chocolates,
really
man. Mally's Chocolates. If you're ever driving through Ohio, look up Mally's Chocolates and go there.
It's a really weird thing that like Cleveland specifically has always been a like reoccurring thing or subject in my lifespan, even before you were like there.
Oh no, for sure.
I was always there.
Because at one point, my brother was really into sports when he was in high school, and he was into the Cleveland Indians at one point. So
They're a good underdog team.
yeah, and that's probably why. So that
like
logo,
Indians fans and I feel like Giants fans always sort of like
one and the same.
because we were the two teams that
Yeah.
like it was like the longest. We were like the last teams who have like never won like the World Series,
The
like, championship.
World Cup, yeah.
And then, the World Cup. And then the fucking Giants left us for fucking nothing, man.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, we're all laughing at the Cubs.
Yeah. So that logo is indented in my head.
Yeah.
And then Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is always associated with Ohio and everything.
Yep.
And so I've always wanted to go there for that.
Yeah.
Then you came along, and then all of a sudden it's always there. And it used to be, I want to go to Cleveland for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And now it's like,
But like you want to go to Cleveland with me though.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the thing.
Can we have a group trip?
No, but
I would love to do that one year.
Yeah.
I would, because here's the, like, we would do Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I would take you to a Tribes game and whatnot, but then I'd take you to Mally's. Because, like, I'm the local. I know where shit is. I would take you to Mally's.
I'll take you to the in-between.
No, I'll take you to the stop shop.
I'll take you to fucking Gene's Place, one of the best fucking diners I have ever fucking been to. I put up a picture on Instagram where it's like all the pictures of like famous actors and whatnot. That's Gene's Place.
Right.
Oh my god, I forgot how good their fucking
And we'll avoid the
were.
suburbs, which is nothing but blonde teenage boys drinking Mountain Dew.
Well, no, Gene's Place is in like the suburbs. Like, here's the weird thing about Cleveland. Cleveland has like layers of like suburbs. Like,
It's like
Cleveland.
an onion.
It's like an onion. It's like an ogre. They have layers. So you got Cleveland right in the core middle. Cleveland is like its actual like city, and then
It's like an RPG. It has layers.
and then you've got downtown. Fuck. And then you've got Lakewood. Now Lakewood's still sort of a city, but it's still like a suburb technically to Cleveland. And then you've got Rocky River, which is still sort of a city. And I forget where my dad is sort of in this. I think he's in
Compton.
a combination of Cleveland and Lakewood a little bit. And
like
so you get sort of these still like sort of busy suburban places. Like, imagine Irving and like Taraval in a city, like, but like blown up as like a whole like city town sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's what like Lakewood is.
Is it like how we're right in between Noe Valley and Mission?
A little bit, but it's not like big buildings or anything. It's just like a lot of busy like shops and whatnot, and you got that, and then like after that, that's when you get like the suburbs, where you have like Olmsted Falls, where all there is are townhouses,
Where everything else sounds like a Cartoon Network animated show.
So
I'm the goose.
and we would stay, like, we would go to Olmsted Falls because there's like a couple. We have the best fucking sausage place,
Bruh.
dude. I forget the name. I already fucking forget the name, and I always forget the name. Mom, if you're watching this, comment the name below.
She just comments, no.
Fuck you.
I'm a big bacon man, but if you can convince me on a
Dude.
sausage.
Bratwurst and sausages, and they've got like the bet, like they do it themselves, and they have like all of these different kinds where they put like fucking like spices into each different sausage. Oh my god.
You speaking
my
bratwurst,
fucking
you
God.
speaking my language.
Yes.
See, I'm a
and then I would
sausage
take you
man.
like Olmsted Falls has like a really nice creek and all that stuff. Like I'd take you to go see that, and then like
Or I would kill you.
See, I was
We're,
just
like-
about to say I'm a big sausage man, and I realized I shouldn't say that.
So that's like, I want to take you guys to Cleveland one day, because Cleveland is not the best place to go.
That's
But
what
if you know someone there, it's always worth, stopping by.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that there's been 4 different reasons why I wanted to go to Cleveland. Is first, when I was a kid, it was because Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I want to go there. I want to see that. I want to experience that.
I want to fight Jimi Hendrix.
Then it was because it's surprisingly very famous for the foods and diners that are over there.
Yeah, it's got a good
There's a
food
lot
scene.
of food places there.
Yep.
I'm a fat kid. I want to experience that.
Yeah.
I want to dig
And
in.
then we should do it by the time you guys can legally drink.
Exactly.
Ooh. Great Lakes Brewing Company.
I don't drink.
Christmas ale.
My dad has told me
Oh.
about that place.
Yeah, that's how fucking crazy it is.
Yeah.
Like, my mom is always asking relatives, you guys need to ship some of this stuff out here when the Christmas ale comes out, because it's so good. And like Tavia, like my mom and
Tavia.
her wife Tavia, why, like, she's not dead.
She's dead. I was doing it to Elvis for her.
Okay, like Tavia, like they're moving to Cleveland for a couple of years, and
Yeah.
Tavia is psyched just because of the
Just because of
Christmas
that.
ale.
But yeah, so Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the food. Then it's weirdly the hometown for a lot of like punk and metal bands that like no one
Yeah.
really knows about,
Exactly.
but it has a lot of it has a big music scene there.
Yeah, like I would go take it. Like we went to this really cool, just like low key concert in this sort of like venue basement place. That was the picture I took of like Blondie. That
Right.
like all of these artists like painted onto the walls.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool.
Like I want to go there and experience like an actual
music.
town with an actual
Cool
music,
music
scene
scene.
because we don't have that anymore.
Which is weird because it's fucking San Francisco.
Yeah.
And like the cool thing is like I would want to take you guys to a baseball game just because
That's
to see
another
the
thing.
difference between crazy Giants are good now, so everything's like fucking crazy, to go to cheap ass ballpark games where you don't have expensive fucking food, like crazy expensive. Like it's still expensive. It's still the ballpark,
But it's not like
fucking like Ghirardelli and stuff. It's like all of these sort of like local, just like, hey,
Here's a hot dog.
Like, I just want a hot chocolate.
Here's
not
here's a fucking like a ice cream sundae in like an Indian's helmet cup. And it's like,
yeah, that's awesome.
it's just like, it's like even the ballpark is just endearing.
It feels
and
like,
when we go there, you don't call it fucking Progressive Field. No, it's the fucking Jake.
You don't call it
that
Progressive Field. Genesis never played here.
But yeah, and then the Cleveland is always associated with sports in general. So I've always wanted to go to a game there. I always wanted to go there because that's where you're from, and I want to experience that. And
you're just like, I just want to understand how this happens.
Yeah, and I also want to go there just to not have this idea of Cleveland being a war zone in my head as people. Like, I want to see what it is.
Yeah,
because
like in high school,
it's like
people are
Iraq
like,
in my head right now.
Yeah, like people are always like, what is Ohio like, Barrett? Like, do you guys live in huts or something? I'm like, we have cities.
Every once in a while, like, Obi-Wan will come out and save someone from, like, sand people. They don't have policemen, they have Obi-Wans that are just like, like, go away.
So this is the main trip. This was Cleveland. And the weird thing about my trips to Cleveland, no snow. It was really weird. And I was like, I didn't get a Christmas vibe. I like, even on Christmas and Christmas Eve, I was like, it doesn't really feel like Christmas
That's
to me.
another thing, because of the Christmas story, I always associate it with snow.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that was like nowhere. It was not snowing in the Midwest until the day I was leaving. We'll get to that. So yeah, like I got to see family, and it was really cool, and just like how like run down Cleveland is, but sort of just like how adorable that is in a way. Yeah. Like there's just something about it that I.
It's your hometown. It connects to you. Your Cleveland is my Stockton.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something about it.
Austin.
And then we get to the trip back. So like I said, Midwest, no snow, entire week. Fly into Chicago. I had a pretty early flight, so I fly into Chicago, and I have to wait for an hour to get my flight out of Chicago. We get boarded, and we're sitting.
I'm the captain now.
Get boarded.
We're sitting there, and we're waiting, and at one point, someone says like, "Hey, we're just waiting because there's a little bit of sleet out there and whatnot." I was like, "Oh fuck, we've been waiting for like an hour already," and like we're just waiting for a little bit because it's supposed to clear up soon. Wait for another half hour. Okay, we got to get off the flight. Delay for 2 hours. We get to that 2 hour delay mark, and they're like, "Okay, delayed another hour." And when we get to that mark, it's canceled. So I go on my United app. I go on my United app and I book myself for a later flight to San Francisco. And at that point, like it's another like 3 hours or something. So I'm just like fucking around the airport.
He read every magazine.
I went to that bathroom like 10 times that day. I was like, I've never wanted to been in one fucking airport like bathroom as many times. Like I will forever recognize that bathroom. If I ever walk past it, I'll be like, hey, yeah, that bathroom. I never wanted to do that for an airport bathroom.
I'm glad it didn't get to the point where you started playing the penis game by yourself, but instead of penis, it's bomb. Just seeing how far you push yourself.
Bomb!
Immediately jumps.
Too soon.
Like I got dinner there and stuff, and for this next flight that I had booked, there's been no delay. Like we're supposed to board in like 20 minutes or whatever. We're supposed to board in 10 minutes. Flight is just straight up canceled. And like no delay whatsoever.
This is why I don't go anywhere, period.
And then that's when I learned the whole airport was just shut down at that point. Where like no flights were allowed to come in, no flights were leaving and all that stuff. I was like, fuck. And that's when I was texting my mom. I was like, hey, like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it out tonight. I was texting Alyssa and I was texting my dad. My dad was
praying to God.
And I was just like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to leave here tonight. Like, I might have to stay. And I was like, considering hitting up our friend Cameron. I was like, she lives here.
That's
like
the first thing I thought about. Was just when you were texting me about it. I was like, wait, is Cameron out there?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, maybe
she's
like I could hit
she's
her up. Or, and then my dad, like one of his best friends, like his name is also Eric. We call him Iraq. He lives over there. And he's like, hey, like Iraq would be more than happy to like help you out if you need to stay here. But I took one more chance, the 9:40 flight out to San Francisco. And we're waiting, we're hoping that the airport is gonna like open up soon. And then like you finally see it, like they're doing like they've got like the big cars like shoveling all of the snow out. And I was like, okay,
this is it.
It was like a 2
Rubbing
hour
your hands like you enter in the devil.
like we all the people waiting for this flight were all like sort of like not all of them were from the same flight from like noon. they were like, some of them had like just gotten there, but some of them were from like that flight of like trying to just get out of Chicago.
Yeah.
And so we sort of became like this family of just like, all right, what's going on? Like, let's keep each other updated. What's going on? Oh, we got to move to a different gate. Like, everybody, come on. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Like, we turned into a family, and like that was something like I appreciated.
You all got matching shirts at the end.
This is what happens when
yeah,
you're
we did.
stuck in Chicago with all of the straight edge kids.
And so, so we're waiting for the 9:40 flight. We're supposed to board in a couple minutes, and then it gets delayed, and we're like, oh God, oh my God. And
One of
they're
them's
saying,
crying.
well, no, the thing is, like, they're saying, like, oh, it's delayed because we can't fly. Or, like, they've landed, but this plane is in this gate already, so we got to get this plane out as soon as possible. That's why it's delayed. It was no, like, weather thing. And we're like, okay, but we're still, like, sort of on the edge of our seats. And then it gets delayed by, like, an hour. So it's 10:40. Or it's 10:20. About.
This Liam Neeson movie sucks.
And they're finally like, we're now taking passengers for flight blah blah blah, and people just started applauding. Oh,
Just imagine everybody dropping
and that's why
to the
you
floor.
don't fly in or out of Chicago in the wintertime, kids.